If I told you that your favorite it girl can reveal your superpower, your deepest desire, and your shadow? When a character in a show or a movie catches your eye, it's not by accident. See, we're magnetized by the characters that reflect parts of ourselves back to us. The characters we feel understand us or want to be like. So your favorite it girl can actually say more than you think about your strengths, your allure, what you want, and the crucial lesson you may not know you need to learn. And today, we're revealing all of it. Welcome back to It Girl Secrets. In today's video, we're psychoanalyzing what your favorite it girl says about you. We're going to be talking about Blair Waldorf, Regina George, Karen Smith, Katherine Pierce, Cher Horowitz, Elle Woods, Maddie Perez, Wednesday Addams, Effy Stonem, Serena Vanderwoodson, and Georgia Miller. I wanted to add more, but that would make this video 40 minutes long. Comment if you want a part 2, and let's dive in. Starting with the queen of the Upper East Side, Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl. Blair represents ambition, standards, strategy, and deep loyalty. Blair is disgustingly educated, organized, scheming, and has a high standard for herself and those around her. She's deeply loyal to those she loves, but incredibly selective about who makes the cut to be in her inner circle. She strives to get into Yale, dates members of the royal family, and always aims to be one step ahead, sometimes even at the cost of someone else. If you like Blair, you're most likely organized and a bit perfectionistic. You want love that is intense and someone who matches up to your standards. Someone you can have a power couple with, just like Blair dating Chuck Bass, the king of the Upper East Side. Though sometimes when it comes to relationships, you might find yourself holding out for partners who may not be able to give you what you want and giving people too many chances. You also most likely in life prefer people who are openly mean rather than talk behind your back. If someone's a you would rather have them be one to your face. You own your flaws and would rather have them do the same. You also might have high ambitions, desire for power, control, and aspire for greatness, but you might feel like you have to work really hard for things that to other people might just come with luck. Just like Blair always watching Serena effortlessly walk into rooms and opportunities she fought so hard for. You may also sometimes struggle with your appearance and weight and feel like you're not enough, but if Blair is your favorite it girl, you're definitely the queen bee. Never forget your crown. But the lesson? Blair always competes with someone. She constantly compares herself and makes enemies out of others. But the truth is, jealousy doesn't really mean that you're behind. On a psychological level, jealousy actually shows you what you desire. Instead of competing, use it as information and as a compass. Remember, there's always enough for everyone to go around. You can have good things in your life without trying to take them away from someone else. Next up, the queen bee, the star, Regina George. Regina represents leadership, popularity, unbothered energy, and perception control. Regina is the girl everyone talks about. She's the one everyone wants to be or be with. She leads her friend group and manages her image. She knows charisma and how to weaponize it to get what she wants. If your favorite character is Regina, you may desire to be popular or well-known. You also enjoy leadership roles or wish you could be the leader. You want to have it all. The cool boyfriend, the iconic friend group, and the face card that never declines. Regina's display of unbothered confidence may also feel magnetic to you. Like the scene where the destroyed shirt becomes a trend, you may either possess the confidence that turns mistakes into trends or aspire to have one like that. You're also not afraid to speak up and state your opinion, even if it's not the kindest at times. Regina is also quick to regain her queen nature once she realizes she's knocked down and makes a comeback. If you like Regina, you too may have a talent of getting knocked down but getting back up each time, or really aspire to have that quality. But here's Regina's lesson. She builds her friend group through fear, which doesn't let her be truly close to anyone. When Katie eventually brings her down and Regina's so-called friends turn on her, she realizes how alone she actually is. In chasing power and appearance, she used fear for control instead of trying to make genuine connections. Speaking of mean girls, next up we have Karen Smith. Karen represents childlike wonder, a desire for fun, and not taking life too seriously. In the movie Mean Girls, Karen is thought to be the dumbest plastic, but she's more of a girl who just doesn't care about changing others' views of her and wants to live life as she enjoys it, even if someone misunderstands her. If you like Karen, you may be the comic relief friend, a quirky friend, or a friend who doesn't bother with drama too much. You don't care for power or strategy. You may be drawn to more childlike fun things in life, be more lighthearted, and not take things too seriously. Like how Karen thinks she can predict the weather, simply enjoys observing the friend group drama without engaging in it, or does not care to try to prove people wrong who say that she's just a dumb She just wants to have fun with life. If your favorite character is Karen, your lighthearted nature and being okay with letting people think whatever is your strength. But the lesson that Karen being your favorite brings, while Karen doesn't care much for what people say about her, she sometimes may internalize it and not take chances that she wants, like how we see her only act on her quote-unquote talent of telling the weather only after her friend group breaks up. And she also may not choose the best friends. Her friend group doesn't value her and treat her as a dumb accessory. If you like Karen, you may sometimes find yourself with the short end of the stick in your friendships. It's great to be unbothered by people's opinions, but not caring what others think doesn't mean you should not set boundaries. Next up, one of our favorite villains, Katherine Pierce from The Vampire Diaries. Katherine represents putting yourself first, resilience, and self-assuredness. Katherine is the villain in The Vampire Diaries who always chooses herself. She goes for what she wants and keeps going no matter what. If your favorite is Katherine, you may have been through a lot of hard situations in your life. You may see yourself as a survivor and have a habit of pushing through no matter what life throws at you. You may admire her tendency to put herself first, not in a selfish way, but in a I refuse to sacrifice myself for anyone way. There are moments where Katherine helps other characters in the show, but she never throws herself away for someone. Admittedly, she does take it a bit too far, but that's because she's a villain in a TV show. In real life, this looks more like honoring your needs and not sacrificing your comfort for what you want just to be liked or please someone. You may want the same for yourself. Maybe you already do it, or maybe you keep finding yourself people-pleasing, or maybe you always concede to someone else, but you don't like it, and you may have a desire to be or are someone who can be themselves unapologetically and holds unshakable confidence. And her lesson, Katherine, just like Regina, does not get close to anyone. She finds herself alone because at times she takes her me-first mindset a bit too far and is also afraid of intimacy. Remember, being close to someone is not a weakness. You can find people who love you and you are lovable. Both Damon and Stefan loved Katherine, among a lot of other people, but she wouldn't let them because she was too scared of being close and opening up to anyone. Next one is a bit of a contrast. Cher Horowitz from the movie Clueless. Cher is one of my favorite characters. She represents optimism, friendships, openness, confidence, and intelligence. Cher is a wealthy girl from Beverly Hills. She has a deeply positive outlook on life, chooses kindness, and has a quiet confidence, which, unlike other movie popular girls, doesn't make her feel the need to bring anyone down to feel secure in herself. If Cher is your favorite, you have an optimistic outlook on life. You believe in being a girl's girl and being nice to everyone around you, and usually remain unbothered and distant from toxic people in your environment. You don't believe in competing with other girls. Cher likes to help others. She's great when it comes to self-development and organization. She also doesn't believe in hierarchies. When Tai transfers to their school, Cher immediately befriends her, not caring about her not being quote-unquote cool. She helps Tai with school, boys, and gives her a glow up. You may resonate with this and also find yourself helping others around you, not because of people-pleasing, but because of genuine kindness. You most likely are also into self-development, developing your intelligence, and maybe even striving to be good in school like Cher. But here's the thing, she's not good in school just because she studies hard or nerds out on exams. When Cher gets a bad grade, she negotiates. She comes up with ways to increase her grades that don't have to do with spilling her brains out on a book. You may have some of this in you as well. You might prefer to work smarter, not harder. Her lesson, Cher sometimes takes life a little superficially and gets so wrapped up in her own little bubble that she fails to notice what's going on around her. She also sometimes thinks she knows best for others, like Tai. She tries to make her into a copy of herself, but fails to realize that Tai has her own defining characteristics that work for her, and not everything that works for Cher works for Tai. It is okay and great to help people, but it's important not to try to force your worldview onto others, and keep in mind, you may not always know best. Next up, another one of my all-time favorites, and probably my most favorite character of all, Elle Woods. Elle represents determination, breaking expectations, optimism, feminine energy, and staying true to your values. She loves pink, values female friendships, helps out others, and has a truly kind heart. The biggest point for Elle in the movie is when her boyfriend dumps her because he doesn't think she's smart enough to be with him. So Elle gets into Harvard Law despite everyone doubting her and proves them wrong. If Elle is your favorite, you may have had a lot of moments in your life where people underestimated you. People may judge you by your look, but you enjoy proving them wrong. Like for example, this one time I was in economics class and we got a new teacher. He asked everyone what their favorite book was. I was sitting there with my fluffy pen and purple pink outfit when he approached me, I said my favorite book is The Great Gatsby. Looking at me, I could tell he doubted me because he jokingly asked, and what do you think is the actual message of the book? Probably expecting me to view it like a shallow love story. When I explained the themes in depth, he sort of looked at me and was like, okay. And then I also ended up being the only one who could get 100% on his test, with almost 70% of the class failing every time. If you like Elle, you're also not afraid to be yourself. You may love girly things and be a girl's girl, believe in kindness, and be deeply intelligent. Though Elle's arc is not just about proving other people wrong, but also proving herself wrong. At some point, she really doubts that she can be a serious lawyer and thinks that people will never take her seriously. So why try? But she still goes through with her trial and wins, proving herself and everyone who ever doubted her wrong. There may be moments where you doubt yourself as well, but remember, just like Elle, it is unwarranted. But here's one lesson that Elle also has to learn. Sometimes you may be chasing the wrong goal, which is a guy. I swear this was my favorite character growing up, and I would always get caught up in chasing boys. I watched this movie every time something would go badly with someone I liked, or every time I went through a breakup. The movie truly reminds you that you're worth more than chasing a guy who can't even see your value. A man is not a prize. The life you want, a genuine connection, and self-realization is. Next up, everyone's favorite, Maddie Perez. Maddie represents no BS, baddie, ride or die energy, but also growing from pain and breaking free of toxic patterns. She takes no she will call you out, she will clap back if you insult her, she has high standards, firm boundaries, and wants a luxurious life. If you like Maddie, you may also have zero tolerance and prefer people who keep it real. You're probably deeply loyal and would do anything for the people that you love. You feel deeply and may have some anger issues, and either do or aspire to have the same boundaries and having the confidence that bends the room to your will. Though Maddie in the show has a shadow. She starts out in a toxic relationship, which she does everything for, including the things that are highly unethical, like framing someone. Now, abusive relationships are highly complex on a psychological level, and I will not be going into that in this video. But Maddie's lesson is that pain and chaos should never equal love. She talks about this with Jules in season 2, mentioning how hard it is for her to imagine a relationship that's not toxic, dark, or intense. If you like Maddie, you may also want to take a look at your love patterns. And remember, toxic and intense does not equal great love, which thankfully Maddie moves on from, and hopefully we'll see it stay that way in season 3. Next up, Wednesday Addams from the show Wednesday. Wednesday represents independence, non-conformity, quiet intelligence, and allure of the shadow. Wednesday is dark, sharp, observant, and completely uninterested in fitting in. She's allergic to color and always wears black. She gets sent to a school for supernatural misfits called Nevermore, which I love the name because I'm obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe's poems. But back to the point. Her black uniform stands out against the other kids' dark blue uniform in the school, showing how Wednesday is even a misfit among other misfits. Though Wednesday does not care to fit in, keeps her thoughts to herself, and often judges those around her. She has her passions, which is playing the cello, writing, and investigating, and does not get involved much with the school spirit out of her own free will. If Wednesday is your favorite character, you may feel out of place, and sometimes even feel like you're surrounded by idiots. You probably value independence above anything else, and are slow to reveal your cards to anyone. You'd rather be respected than liked. You probably observe people around you very carefully and prefer to observe instead of talk. You also may resonate with her refusal to conform. If everyone's going left, you're going right. Not to be rebellious for the sake of it, but because you genuinely don't feel the need to follow the social trends. And you probably have deep interests you work on. But here's the lesson. While Wednesday's tendency to keep her cards close to her chest may be her strength at times, it is also one of her problems. She acts like she doesn't need anyone, even when she does. Tries to protect herself by staying slightly disconnected. You can stay sharp and independent while also allowing for meaningful connection. And you don't have to take everything on yourself. Sometimes you can do things way better with a little help from others, even though you think that no one can do it better than you alone. This next character I just had to include. And please tell me that I'm not the only one who was and still remains a little obsessed with her. Effy Stonem from Skins. Effy represents mystery, darkness, inner struggles, and femme fatale energy. She has an iconic, edgy style, tends to speak less and observe more, and has an effortless, magnetic, cool girl energy that gets everyone to fall in love with her. Throughout the show, Effy has 3 guys guys that fight over her. She also deals with psychotic depression, troubles at home, and deep inner struggles. If your favorite is Effie, you probably had an emo phase. You're drawn to edgy style and may have had to deal with a lot of inner struggles, maybe even some mental health struggles yourself. Maybe you felt misunderstood by your friends, parents, and may also, just like Effie, feel like you mess everything up. You really want to be desired and probably would even fantasize about a love triangle where people fight over being with you. Whether you would choose Cook or Freddie in Effie's situation also shows what kind of relationship dynamics you're drawn to. If you're a team Cook, like me, not proud, but I am, you want intensity in your relationships. The Sid and Nancy, Halsey's him and I ride or die dynamic. You want a love where both of you are equally messy and are not afraid of each other's demons. You're not scared of chaos. In fact, a part of you feels most alive in it. And you may want a passion that feels a little destructive but addictive. Though the shadow side of this is that sometimes you may romanticize instability, you may confuse emotional volatility with depth, and you may think that if it's calm, it is boring. If you're Team Freddie, well, you're definitely on the healthier side. You want a deep soul connection in your relationship. You want safety, loyalty, and someone who guards you when your mind spirals. You want someone who loves you in a quiet, consistent way, not just when things are intense. Effie is also incredibly observant. You may also have this quality in you or want to have it so you can be one step ahead of everyone and untouchable, like Effie feels to us sometimes. The lesson: Effie sometimes pushes people away, self-sabotages, and leans into her own darkness a little too much instead of asking for help. She makes pain aesthetic. If Effie is your favorite, you might have a tendency to romanticize your sadness, to feel like your deep, painful feelings make you different, special, or untouchable. You may struggle with seeing how destructive it actually can be. Don't turn your pain into your personality. It is not an aesthetic, and don't mistake self-destruction for depth. Next up, a highly controversial character, Serena Vanderwoodson. Serena from Gossip Girl represents careless, easygoing it-girl energy. She's the muse, the sunshine everyone's drawn to, the girl who effortlessly gets everything she wants. She walks into a room and opportunities just happen. Designers want her at their shows, photographers want her face, guys fall for her without her even trying. She doesn't scheme like Blair. If Serena is your favorite, you probably value freedom more than control. Just like Serena, who always likes to keep her options open and make spontaneous decisions. You may have or want to have a natural magnetism that effortlessly draws people in. You may see or want to see yourself as the cool girl, the fun girl, and the effortless girl. You like to follow your feelings even if they change quickly, and you may be constantly working on the next exciting thing. And you probably, just like Serena, don't believe in social hierarchy. While Blair uses social status as a bouncer of who's let in and not, Serena is willing to give everyone a chance. But here's the shadow side. You might leave things unfinished. You might jump from person to person, dream to dream, or city to city, looking for a feeling rather than something stable, and sometimes not thinking of consequences. Just like Serena leaves a mess in her path, hooking up with her best friend's boyfriend and then leaving town, not thinking how that's going to affect anyone. Spontaneity is great, but you always need to look at how your actions affect those you love, and think what the consequences may be and if they're worth it. Finally, we have Georgia Miller from the show Ginny and Georgia. Georgia is a true force. She represents perseverance, not taking life too seriously, and deep strategic thinking. Georgia in the show has one of the toughest backgrounds, but she perseveres and keeps going no matter what happens in her life. If you like Georgia, you may also have had tough moments in your life and identify with being a fighter. You admire resilience. You might even pride yourself on being able to handle things that would break other people. Georgia is also a mom, but she's very far from the stereotypical soccer mom. She hates PTA meetings, she doesn't care about unhealthy nature of fast food, and can smoke with her daughter's boyfriend. She's also quite funny. You may also feel like you don't want to fit the stereotypical nature of things, like breaking social norms, and may also want to be a cool mom when you grow up. Georgia also cares deeply about those she loves and would do anything for them, which is a quality that you may share. But the lesson, just like her, it's something crucial and deeply powerful, actually hidden towards the end of my Georgia Miller mindset video. If you're interested to know your lesson, and even if she's not your favorite but you've made it to the end of the video, check that video out because it truly explains why Georgia always keeps going and how she's so socially magnetic on a psychological level. Let me know if you like this video, who your favorites are, and if I should make a part 2 with more characters. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!